This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, hiya.
Okay, we'll call to order the Monterey Select Board on April 28th at 6:02 PM. We have all three members of the board present here in Town Hall.
For the last time.
Fran Gavitt for the last time, Susan Cooper, and myself, Justin Maycock.
Vicky's making fun
So the first item on our agenda is preparation for town meeting. I don't think that. Well, I think we should just talk through any items that people wanna take responsibility for, or if we want people to make reports, like we typically do. And did you have any logistical questions about setting up for town meeting?
No, I've, Amanda and I went through the whole clicker setup and everything the other day. So we have a projector, extra monitor, we have the Wi-Fi device, we're getting we're gonna have a backup, Mari's bringing a backup, the second one, and we're getting some extra clickers just in case. For New Marlboro, yeah, so, yeah, she's, Amanda's gonna plan to be there extra early to set up, make sure everything's set up the right way. The one thing I think we just were questioning, and I think she was gonna talk to, Mark as the town moderator about how the warrants are set up, you know, on the, when it pops up on the screen there, to make sure they're set up the way that usually happens. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, we're pretty good.
Mark Trachtenberg always liked it, who ran the Maria clickers, liked it to say the full warrant article, but we're really not voting an article, we're voting on a motion.
Yeah,
I prefer it just to say Article 1, Article 2,
yeah,
Article 3, and then if there's an amendment to Article 3.
Yeah.
Without saying, you can read
The whole thing.
kind of what it is.
yeah. So,
Do we have to,
Kurt,
oh. Uh-oh.
usually she reaches out several months in advance, and she may well have on your.
I haven't seen anything. Hold on.
thank you for knowing what this meant.
She
Speaking
said-
of sign language.
Did she talk to you?
Yeah. I'll just follow up with her right now, make
Okay.
sure.
Cause I haven't gotten an email from her.
Should we book out several months in advance?
Okay.
The meeting starts at 9:30?
And Donna's just gonna be by phone.
Yes, yep, she'll be available by phone.
What's the news on, are any school folks coming?
It's a conversation we could have. I know we sort of talked off on the side. I just wanna make sure that it's okay. I can ask for Brian to show up if you just wanna have the superintendent come.
I mean, I don't
Or-
think we need a whole group of them.
I don't think so. either.
People need to know why it's empty.
Yes, so
But do they have a sense of
the point that I was making was, we left it out, so there really can't be a lot of discussion on it, it's not on the warrant, so it's not an item we can really discuss. It will come up, like Susan, like your point is correct, and there can be, well, it would be whatever the moderator allows.
Right.
But the reason why it was left off entirely, and we even put the school budget in a 0, is because it can't be talked about, it can't be voted on. So I think if the superintendent,
We should
really,
say there is no budget as yet.
the superintendent has traditionally come, and honestly, didn't usually answer many questions, there usually haven't been for several years, many or any questions on the school budget.
I've had 2 people ask me, can the whole budget issue be moved aside until they see the school budget in there?
I mean, we could table the whole meeting.
People are saying, 2 people told me, I said, yeah, I think you can, I wasn't 100% sure.
We can, I mean,
But
town
2
meeting-
people said one said out of the 2 said they're gonna bring that up. They don't want anything to do with talk about the budget until the school budget's in there.
Can Donna not make it in person?
She can. She just asked, yeah.
Because I think,
Is that my?
well, it would stink to drive out for just that.
Yeah.
But the motion that needs to be made could be made by town meeting, but we would wanna make the right motion, and I think we should warn her in advance. that
Yeah, and I think we should try to figure out what date to put forward if that happens, because trying to pick it on the floors.
Table to a time certain.
Yes, because it's different, like, that's the thing you were talking about, like, if you're putting something out to pasture, if you table it without a date. If you table it to a date, it isn't.
Well,
I'd
I think we
probably say-
have one thing that, you know, if it's not done in the school budget, it's not done by July 1st, the state.
Well, all of the budgets, so I think.
But we
I mean,
need our
we
budget
have to-
done with that, with
Well,
that.
we would do the week before July 1st.
I would go a little bit earlier, I would just say middle of June, so the 2 Saturdays in the middle of June are the 13th and the 20th. And I would probably say one of those.
I'd rather go for earlier than.
I would rather do earlier. I mean,
Gives us, that gives the financial team more time to deal with the turnover of the year.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're putting a burden on the rest of the people, just.
They're
just,
putting
oh,
this whole-
Let's definitely do the 13th.
Oh,
Because.
what's the 20th?
I'll be in Chicago for my friend's wedding,
Well,
so.
that's not a terrible thing, but.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
You
be.
can zoom in, right?
To the wedding or the meeting?
You might want to just hide
Well,
somewhere.
if the meeting goes good enough, you can catch a flight being shot. But I have a question. Have you heard from anybody about the budget? I mean, the Berkshire Edge wrote an article that was just like, no, they
But the
didn't.
school budget?
Yeah,
No,
no numbers, no percentages, no X,
Nothing.
No.
nothing new.
no, the only information I've heard is through the paper as well. And, just recently that when I reached out and I said that the school department asked if, you know, certain members wanted to show up, that's the only thing I've heard of them for the past 2 weeks.
I mean, at the end of the day, if they're showing up, I can guarantee you what's gonna get asked of them is, well, if we set our budget for the 13th, are you gonna be on there? Is the state stepping in? I mean, we're not having another,
I don't
a
know.
third meeting, Baba.
I just don't understand what's taking so
Well, that's a good point from Susan. We could end up with 13.
I mean, you know, Donna called me and said, you know, I would have told you to go ahead and put it on there. Like, we had reasons for not.
Yeah.
Because her point is, it's a burden on the town, and her thought was, or what she expressed to me anyway, was to just say, we'll put this, you know, we'll put last year's budget on there, and at the STM, we'll make up the difference. But I think that's dangerous, because at the STM in November, I mean, it wouldn't be an additional meeting, but at the STM in November, what could we do? We'd either have to hope free cash was certified and use that, or we'd have
Or you have
to
to
use,
hope you have enough free cash.
or we'd have to use,
We have to do a raise and appropriate.
Well, we
No, I
could
was gonna-
up until a certain point, and I don't know when that point is.
stabilization.
We can do a raise and appropriate up until a certain
But I
point, as
didn't
long as
think you could still do it
Don
in
has
November.
set the tax rate.
Yeah, but usually by November, that's
He
done.
should, but,
It was December this past year.
Yeah, everything was like this last year.
so, I think it'd be good if Donna could be there in person.
I'll
She doesn't
talk to
mind.
her. Yeah, I'll talk to her.
It-
I know
that was
that
an interesting
Eric's
perspective.
gonna be there.
I didn't really like the, Eric,
Yeah.
Eric Kincher.
I didn't really like the idea of having it, like, be in a position where we had to use stabilization.
So part of the issue, by the way, with the schools was we were advised by schools council and Donna okayed this to not put anything on it.
Right,
And it's a 5-town issue.
Right.
So I don't even know what would happen if we approved last year's budget and the other 4 towns didn't.
and,
Because as
yeah,
far as the district is concerned, no budget has passed. They couldn't start assessing us.
Right.
There was actually, do you know there was an assessment issue? Roger, you know, because you first told me about
Which
this.
one's that?
it's just maybe-
Remind me again?
Different
Oh,
towns
yeah.
were being assessed different amounts.
Yeah.
Because every year when they come up with the budget, part of the process is they figure out the quarterly assessment for each town.
Yeah.
And some towns had the assessment sheet. Some towns had different assessment sheets. One, they don't even know where the numbers came from.
Yeah.
So some towns underpaid a little bit and some towns overpaid a little
Right.
bit. And this was all likely because of the superintendent leaving.
Mhm.
So they're rectifying it, right?
That's my understanding. My understanding is they're still, from what I've heard, they still haven't gotten their, what do they call it, their E&D money, whatever it is. They're still trying to work on that. That's one of the things I heard.
But it doesn't help that different towns were.
And they were assessed differently too, so And I think it was just, they got different forms.
Well, there was
Also,
a-
aren't assessments always different because part of the calculations are different, like,
No,
It's
what
based
happened
on
was,
art
there were
and
changes made at
CPD.
town meeting,
okay.
and so there was the initial, this is what your assessment will be, and I believe some towns were paying that. And the changes weren't huge in the grand scheme.
Right.
I think the changes were in the neighborhood of 50,000
Something like that,
out of
6 million, or
20 million.
20 million.
So 50
So-
million all.
split between
Yeah,
5 towns.
Yeah.
But, and split between all the government aid money.
right.
So it, huge differences, but it didn't help.
No.
When they're trying to flush out all the numbers.
Yeah.
So CART is confirmed.
Okay,
We'll try to get down to the common
and
person.
I'll talk to her, I'll send an email tonight and just.
Alert her that there may be interest in postponing some or all of the meeting. As far as postponement date, at this time, June 13th looks like a good option.
That fits in 6 weeks. If they don't want to do it in 6 weeks,
Yeah.
the state should take them out.
Yeah, really. If they can't do it in that 6 weeks, I feel like we should just give them a zero budget.
Yeah, the kids are the ones that suffer, that's the
I
problem.
know.
Is there anything else for town meeting? Do we know if members of the planning board or housing committee will make a presentation on CPA?
I haven't heard anything yet.
I haven't heard
I can
anything
reach
yet.
out.
Or
But I
The
suspect
finance-
they'll be
season?
willing to
Finances
answer questions.
first, I know.
Yeah.
No, but sometimes, particularly when there's a zoning
Yeah,
change,
someone gets
Tom Sawyer or someone from the planning board makes kind of a formal report.
Mhm.
And I think that may be useful in this instance.
Would they have reached out to, moderator about that? Would that be something separate or?
Probably if we don't know of anyone planning to do it, probably there is no one planning to do it, but I'm saying
I'll reach out.
it might help with the flow of the meeting if someone is prepared. There's been a good amount of voter education, but they are complicated topics nonetheless, and sometimes it's a good way to guide the discussion to make it productive and.
I'll reach out and see if he's got anything planned. I'll reach out to Tom and Jen Brown.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Formal report. Tom would be familiar with what that looks like from the planning board. Other than that, I think we're good for now.
I'm assuming there will be questions on the fire stuff, because that happened last year, even with 2 minutes. And the fire department meeting was less well attended this year than it was last year, so either that means more people are cool with it, or there'll be more questions on the floor, I don't know.
Just go.
What else do we anticipate there being? I mean, I'm
I think
assuming,
you'll get stuff about seasonal communities.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
seasonal communities and,
CPA.
CPA and fire, and was there anything else?
Lombardo may well get
Lombardo,
questions.
yeah.
OPEB. I mean,
Also, oh,
anything.
by the way,
You
I
never
don't know
what
if you
time.
guys caught this, but the article that was in the Eagle mostly got or weren't right, but the one thing they said was that they said that they thought the whole amount for Lombardo was for just one thing, which was a consultant. But I don't think that was the case when we
I
discussed it.
think we said consultants,
We did, it's
It's not for one to
Hence
Yeah.
plural.
and the
Okay.
point being, the first thing that we know we're doing is we're following up on the red flag study
Mhm.
with a more in-depth study.
And what about signage? Don't we have to pay?
Well, we're gonna meet the committee, but that, we didn't, I don't remember the exact date when the committee was gonna meet, but we're gonna take up the signage, but that wouldn't be a huge expense.
Yeah.
No, I got it quoted last summer for $500.
Yeah.
I didn't think
Maybe
it
have
was
the,
huge, but I just,
DPW put it up. We did do, Tom and I did a walkthrough with the environmental group. We had an idea. Tom sent an email out earlier today. I did not read it about our next steps. So, you know, Tom and I have some ideas we want to bring up to committee, trying to do certain things and take it in steps because of the cost situation.
right,
I'm not expecting a lot of environmental remediation to need to be done, but what's gonna happen is that first about $10,000 is going towards the study.
Mhm.
And then if environmental remediation is needed, that next 20 will go towards that. And otherwise, it can be used for engineering, site
But-
design.
What the engineers
Right.
recommend is that you remove the concrete so they can take a look at the soil.
Oh, remove that first?
Yeah, because you can't get to it. Like, there's one pipe that looks like it's an oil pipe.
Oh,
So, to do it, and two is they would be able to get a sense of the depth of it. The first would probably be,
Put in the hole.
Huh?
When you dig that stuff up, what do you put in the hole?
just gotta put. more
you just
soil.
do backfill.
Yeah.
You do backfill, so he was gonna write, I didn't read the email today, but there's gonna be the steps he recommends,
Okay.
So we'll see. There's a lot of questions about the easement and where the property line, the bridge over to Betsy's house and all
Yeah.
that we're gonna have to answer.
Sticking with the Lombardo Park Committee,
Yeah.
and I know, Frank, you're on it,
Uh,
but wasn't it a select board person, or is it just a person?
Yeah, so this Frank's only appointed through to the end of his term.
Okay, I just, not
Yeah, well,
not that we don't love your work there.
Well, I
I
mean,
just-
I'll stay on till you appoint
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
that's, because
Okay.
Tom and I work
Right,
well.
trust
Yeah.
us.
Well, Tom and I work well together, so,
No, I think it's been great, the
Yeah.
information that's come out.
it's been a good group of people there.
Yeah.
I mean, the easement was easy, no one got Steve, he looked at it all the way back to 1901.
Yeah.
So, not like having a lawyer on the committee,
Yeah, no.
as long as it's not a jailhouse lawyer.
Or an ambulance.
Anything else?
Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else on there that could be,
Should we let Peter, you think he might have some, to get him prepared, then maybe there might be some questions that might come up about the renewable energy
Yeah,
working group?
I mean, he's pretty
He's usually
reliable,
pretty
yeah,
good
Tom
about
made it, yeah.
I'm gonna have coffee with him tomorrow.
All right,
Oh, yeah?
well, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I know people are confused a little bit about that too, like where is it, what's it going on with it?
Yeah.
And they might have some, and I know he's come here and talk.
Yeah,
But,
so the cap landfill project is still underway.
yeah,
And we are negotiating a contract between National Grid and the town. And on the other side of the coin, Gould Farm is potentially negotiating a solar contract. So we're not negotiating for them. They actually wanted to use the same consultant, and I think ended up using a different consultant to avoid any
conflict.
yeah.
So, all that said, there's a lot of moving pieces, and that will continue to allow us to use Beacon.
Right.
Which is a consulting firm that's.
Okay.
So,
Is there anything, the only other thing I can think of that somebody might bring up, assuming the budget actually goes forward without the school, would be, that some people did not get cost of living raises, so I think we should be prepared for that question, not that it's not a straightforward,
cost of living rate.
they got more.
Oh,
I also was confused.
Sorry, I wasn't clear.
Yes.
That there, that we did say we did cost of living raises, but there were, and
That's
we need to be prepared.
DPW, right?
yeah, most of that.
Yeah, basically, I would consider
That's
that a
just-
competitiveness raise, right? Like, we're
It's
raising our
competitive,
wages to be
no.
competitive.
I think it's also particularly for the department head in that
Yeah.
situation, it's for parity amongst departments. And so now the police chief, town administrator, and highway department positions, which are all salary exempt department heads, are all at the same level. So it kind of, there's a certain level of salary parity. Not that they're the same positions, but
There's parity.
Yeah.
Is there did we ever hire someone for the highway department?
No, we held off, I'm gonna put it back on,
Okay, that's fine.
just to kind of do it again.
Yeah,
We
Alan
had-
seems fine the other day when I talked to him, he didn't bring it up.
Yeah, I think,
You're not plowing every weekend.
yeah, now that they're not plowing 24 hours a day, it's gotten a little better, it's quieter, so we've,
But there is a lot of road work to do this
Yeah,
summer,
they're working
and
on that
they're
right
gonna
They're
want
working
those
on, he told me
hands.
he's working on the dirt roads.
Yeah,
Gravel.
and doing a good job.
He's
Our
staying
crew
on
looks
top
good.
of it. from what I can see.
speaking of roads, should we segue right into the native plants
sure.
group update?
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Janet.
Yes, and you guys know Judy, right?
Yeah, and Judy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were here as part of native plants too, but thank you
She's a
for,
big part of it all. In fact, yesterday we were walking, on Wallace Hall Road, which is part of the new proposed pilot, which I'll get into in a second, but we were commenting how great the road looked.
Mhm.
He did that whole
Yeah.
thing up to Sandsfield, it was really
Yeah.
very smooth, yeah. Following our meeting with you guys last fall, I guess it was, we finally were able to meet with, Alan, who was just delightful and helpful and enthusiastic, and, we explained what we were up to and what we wanted to do, and, he seemed very receptive to everything. Yeah, you weren't there, but, so then I kind of recapitulated his letter and wrote back what I was planning to propose to you guys for this year. And the idea would be, to continue with our pilot one on our school road, basically from, Griswold to Carrington Patel. So that will bring that for 2 years of kind of delayed mowing.
Mhm.
And then, also, we wanted to do New Marlboro Road from the bridge by the goat farm all the way up to the town line,
Okay, all the way, yeah.
by that dam or whatever it is. And then also, since we're there, Wallace Hall Road, which Alan said they don't really mow that very much anyway, because it's very steep banks. So, that will give us two kind of different, pretty different areas in terms of soils and all that kind of stuff. And, we were kind of delighted to see quite a bit of biodiversity up on Wallace Hill Road yesterday. Trilliums and wild ginger and serviceberry and ferns and, yeah.
oh, I think I saw you. I was wondering what was going on New Marlboro Road.
Oh, we were putting the
Yeah.
sign
Yeah.
in pictures.
And I thought I saw you, and I was like, did the detour start? Because there's not usually a bunch of traffic. And then, okay, okay.
Oh, at the top by Sandusfield.
I saw you, right where New Marlboro Road turns and hits Wallace Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
It was us.
awesome.
So those would be the two proposed pilots. A third thing we requested is on the secondary paved roads, such as River Road, could they desist from going all the way out to the stone wall, I think they call it the easement. But more like a 4 or 5 foot path for people and dogs, so that we could see what comes up in the margins, you know.
So not going quite as,
Not-
not going 10 feet, maybe just
Right.
4 or 5 feet, so there's still a way for people to get off the road.
Yeah, because now they're going way farther in, and from our observations, it seems like that just, you know, all that mowing just turns to grass, which in some places is great, but, we'd like to see what else happens. So he seemed very amenable to all that. So I said we'd do a formal request to you guys, and, he also actually kind of volunteered to possibly, in certain areas where we observe problematic invasives, for example, the burning bush on New Marlboro Road there. He said he's got a machine that can just uproot those things. So anyway, we also sort of agreed informally to work on a case-by-case basis and to stay in touch if any issues arise. And he said his big priority is, of course, sight lines and safety, and we said, yeah, that comes first. So that's where we are. And in anticipation of your approval, we put up a couple signs yesterday while we were out there walking, the no mow pilot signs, yeah. So, one other thing is, if this goes well, you know, if we don't encounter any problems, we're kind of thinking stage 3 might be to do this town-wide. You know, the lightly trafficked unpaved roads, let them go till October, so, because that does seem to make it a bit of a more significant dent in the highway department's work so they can concentrate on the other stuff.
It might be a thing. This is just me thinking off the cuff is whether they'd be able to mow all of the roads in time in October. If they need to keep the woodies from.
Well, they would be doing it anyway.
Oh, yeah, they used to do
Yeah,
it
they
multiple
do.
times, so now they don't do it.
Yeah.
That's right, never mind. Well, I think,
Sometimes cut 3 times a year.
yeah,
Also, and I know that you understand this, Janet, I think everyone, it has to just be based on what they can accomplish with their workload, but I think the fact that they're prioritizing this is a good thing.
Yeah.
But if they need to start mowing in September to make sure they get everything mowed by winter, that,
Yeah.
it's all about priorities, and I think because you have that, dialogue started, that's
Yeah.
the best we can.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. I mentioned that, would he like us to maybe give a little talk to the road crew and let us know, to understand more what we're after? No, do not do that. They don't have attention span.
Don't put that on.
They like to cut things.
Especially so.
get it done.
So.
They like to cut things.
But
We'll just,
anyway,
we'll just keep it.
the other thing is we're planning 2 roadside kind of educational walks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
one June 13th.
Yeah,
and-
what was June 13th?
Yeah,
But change.
Make it in the afternoon.
oh, yeah, tentatively June 13th. And another one in the fall. And one of our new members, Farmer Jamie, I think will can lead the identification, and that will be part of our documentation process.
And one of the things we talked about was everybody's sort of keeping an eye on the woody plants in that space where we're not going to cut, because that was one of the concerns, is those where if we don't cut back as far as we used to, that we're maintaining the woody plants. to
But
make
we
sure
can cut back that far in the
In
fall.
the fall, yeah,
Yeah, so
take
annually,
care of those.
yeah.
And are you working, I believe you are with Kevin West?
Yep.
Cause sometimes he likes to select a tree that he might wanna keep as a replacement.
We worked really closely with him last year and,
He was part of the meeting as well. He
yeah,
was there.
yes, it was, yeah. Okay?
My last question for you is, I know people are writing on the signs. Is that from last year, or people writing on the signs from this year?
No, the sign went up, yesterday. That's last year's.
Okay,
She was writing to change 2025 to 2026.
Okay. no, but people are writing what will come up, ticks and bad
We're
weeds.
gonna cover that up.
Okay, and I just also didn't know if you want to respond to that. I mean, my 2 cents is that, especially on that road, I see people walk New Marlboro Road all the time. They don't walk in the side, they walk
Right.
On the road.
on the road, so
But
they,
if cars come, they need to, and we did respond to that, both in a newspaper article and in the report we did, and I said it was actually, uncomfortable, but welcome feedback, because, we wanna know what people are thinking.
But the signs that were defaced or feedback was written on them were on River Road,
yes.
and they weren't wrong. There was nowhere to walk. You had to be in the street or in the growth. So it was, it was.
And that's maybe part of the reason we're going away from that particular
Exactly.
location.
Yeah, although we are hoping for the
Yeah.
narrower swath, and we will walk along it toward the end of the season and see how the margins are doing and stuff like that, yeah.
I wonder if there's a way for people to give feedback
Without writing on.
without writing on the sign. And maybe not this year because of, the signs are already printed, but like a QR code,
Have a comment, put it here.
Yeah. they
I
can't make
saw
the
this
6
thing
into a
growing
7.
up, or I got poison ivy from, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Well, I am. gonna
Because
be-
writing on signs is not ideal.
I am gonna be doing a newspaper article, about these meetings and starting it again, and I can say on that, we very much welcome any thoughts.
And
No,
our
it's-
email is on the sign. I don't remember if it says questions or comments, but it
I
says
think it
something
is
like
something like that.
contact and then the pollinator group email, so they could, if they wanted to, send us a note.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, perhaps they're in that anonymous group, they're afraid you'll yell at them.
Okay, oh, they, we we did submit a grant application for $4,000 from the Crane Foundation, you know, with all we've done and everything. We were really hoping we'd be able to hire greenagers to do some additional remediation of invasives and stuff, but we didn't get the grant, yeah.
Sorry.
Did they tell you why? You just,
I think they said a lot of projects, which I'm not surprised, but I have been in, there is a possibility, I sort of forgotten about this, that, Dennis Lynch is working on some grants that include, what do they call it, removal of terrestrial invasives.
Yeah.
So we've been a little bit in touch with them and can maybe,
Piggyback on that, maybe.
yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
So it's all okay?
I think whatever Alan's, the
It sounds like
department
you
head,
got a good working relationship.
work with Alan, and it's up to him. We're not gonna micromanage his department.
Yeah.
So,
But I know I support it, so
Yeah.
as long as he's comfortable with it, I think that's great. Mickey?
Yeah, I'm very much in favor, excuse me. But, this past winter, a lot of whatever they're putting on the roads, there's a lot of gravelly in the sand, and it's really back onto the properties.
Yep.
Mm,
So I don't know how much that's gonna affect the plant growth,
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
because I know by my house, and I was just working near the road, like, can I get this out of there? I don't think I can, you know, it's just, but it's definitely going to, I would think, affect what's gonna grow up, although I noticed that my daylilies are growing up anyway. And they're like,
Yeah,
it's
and the
amazing.
native
how
plants
hardy
can,
they are.
Yeah.
the native plants can
Good.
tolerate a lot, but we'll see, yeah.
I assume, Mickey, I saw the same thing on Bidwell Road, and I assumed it was due to the large amount of snow and needing to push the banks back
Yes,
to make
yeah,
room
that
for
was
more
part of it.
snow and push the
Yeah.
banks back.
Because it's also part of my driveway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
That wasn't highway crew, but it's whatever they put on it, was it more of a, I'm just gonna put that away.
It's a different size gravel.
It was,
than the
yeah, it was
already
more,
on
it was
the-
gravel in the sand,
Yeah,
in the salt thing. It was gravelly stuff, and which made it, and I think it actually helped the roads better in the winter. But now you see how far back it,
it went, right.
because
it
it
was
kept
in the
getting
snow.
pushed, you know, every day when they had to push it. So it's just something that may affect the wildlife, or maybe not.
Thank you for
thank
coming.
you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
See you at the meeting.
Yeah.
Big meeting.
Alright, next up on the agenda, where we have a police officer, part-time police officer.
yeah, Brian Pfister is,
Oh, the park, yeah.
Chief Fahey has recommended that he be made a part-time police officer. He is currently he's working in Montague, but he lives like in Holyoke. So he's really, Brian has talked to him. He came in the other day, unfortunately, I wasn't here, and in the building. And he came in, he really wants to work. He's looking for part-time work right now. Brian really likes him and thinks that, you know, if we get him in now, we who knows what the long-term potential is with him. And but he really likes him and is hoping to get him in for part-time work, especially because the way that they've changed the schedule. So the schedule is now, Dan is currently working on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Jen is working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So there actually ends up being some days where there's open shifts here and there, nights and days. And so this Brian Pfister seems to be very open to working just about anything.
What's the new schedule?
So the schedule right now is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday
So,
for
Sunday
Dan.
to
5
Thursday.
8-hour shifts?
So Sunday, yep, so
5-day shifts.
5-day shifts, but they're 5-2s.
No,
And then the Jen works Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
she
Saturday.
has Sunday, Monday off.
Okay, so it's the Sunday, Thursday schedule, and
Yeah.
Tuesday, Saturday
Tuesday,
schedule.
Saturday schedule.
And what hours of the day?
They're mixed. Like Jen worked Sunday day, Monday day. I forget. There's a whole flopping of days and nights throughout the course of the week.
And what about Brian Fahey?
But Brian is putting himself in where there are shifts Monday through Friday open, and so like I think. Dan worked Monday night That was yesterday, right? Monday night, Brian was there during the day. Jen actually came in for a little while to help with, helping Dan through the night for a couple hours. So they've got, I don't know the exact shifts, but they're filling in shifts, but Brian is filling in shifts during the week that they aren't in, so.
Can we get that in paper?
Yeah.
Cause
It'd be nice to know.
it would be
who's
good,
working
it would be really good to know, and when I worked at Gould Farm, we had at one point, had 3 people in our department. I worked Tuesday, Saturday, someone else worked Sunday to Thursday, and then the boss worked Monday to Friday, but it was all the same shifts. And on Tuesday to Thursday, we had 3 people. Monday to Friday, you had 2 people. Saturday and Sunday, you only had 1 person each. But that was simpler.
Yeah.
This is, I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah, I'll get a schedule.
Like, who works Saturday, the shift that,
Well, right.
or is
So-
it
so-
automatic double?
No, so like,
There's no more doubles, right?
there's nobody's working like Melanie's shift, like the doubles on Saturdays and Sundays. So Jen, I believe, if I looked at the schedule, Jen's working Saturday day. So Saturday night, there's no one really scheduled right now except for a part-timer, like if Graham or Ryan, I think that was his name, from New Marlboro comes in, or we get Brian Pfister. So there are shifts throughout the course of the week here and there where there's no one at this point.
And so when there is no one, are we?
Because we're trying to get
police?
we're trying to get the part-timers to slide in there, and those no person shifts right now. So, like right now, there's no one regularly scheduled for Saturday, but if we can get a part-timer in there, we'll put a part-timer in there,
Saturday day or Saturday?
Saturday
after?
night.
Saturday night.
And then if we don't, we do let the state police know that there's.
Have we done that?
We have, yeah, Brian has let them know.
So, which we asked them to do, so that's good.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot more doubling up, like 2 people.
Well, there's, yeah, well, like when
On
Brian.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Like when
Thursday.
Brian, Tuesday, like when Brian's, because Brian will be on Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, and so
And
there might
Tuesday,
be,
Wednesday, Thursday.
there might be a couple days where there's 2 people on one shift. But the idea is for Brian to be available to go to meetings outside of town, to go to possible trainings, to do paperwork while in the office, while there's another person in town covering calls out on the road, so.
Cause I'm just running that in my head and I'm like, so if there's 2 shifts a day times 7 days, that's 14 8-hour shifts. There's 3 people and everybody's working 5 8-hour shifts, that's 15 shifts, which should theoretically cover all of those 14 shifts without having to bring in per diems unless someone is out.
No,
It's the
but
weekends.
that's what we always did, Susan, and there was 1 doubled up shift,
Yes,
which was Monday daytime.
yes.
Right.
They flipped the script.
Mhm.
It's not like that, there's a lot more doubled up shifts, and then that leaves empty shifts.
Some empty shifts.
Right.
And in some ways, it might be really good, because there was, every time that someone couldn't work, someone had to work basically overtime.
Right.
So there was a lot of possible burnout.
Right.
But this is certainly more costly up front.
Well, yeah, because while we're using the part-timers, yeah.
Well, there's more,
because
it's
there's
basically
because there's
doubling
no
up.
space.
It's basically how many people do you have on staff at any given time?
Yeah.
And if 2 people on staff for 3 shifts a week or 4 shifts a week is the right
Right.
move, it's the right move.
Because with the previous staff, 1 staff member worked the whole weekend. And that
But there's other
was a
ways to
better-
do it. There's other ways to do it. Where you don't have 1 employee work the whole weekend, but you still cover more of the shifts with less doubling up.
Yeah, I think,
There's a lot of ways to do it. All I'm saying is there's more doubling up here than is required, which doesn't make it wrong, but let's just put this thing on paper.
yeah, I'll get it, I'll get the schedule. Yeah.
The last one worked until it didn't,
Right.
and then it didn't. So-
Convenient for the employee.
Yeah, that's fine, if it works for everyone and it's financially sound, that's fine. But,
And if it works for everyone
What's that?
and it has like, there's a reason to do it.
Mhm.
I guess that at the end of the day, it's a question of how many, like functionally, how many people do we need on duty at once? And I don't know the answer, it's just a question.
I'm glad that there's more coverage so that
It's not.
people can take time off, get sick, go on vacation without someone else need to work overtime. Because that's a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, and that's what we've been trying to combat, and I think this is a step in the right direction, but.
And we had one officer, Keith Favali, who, he had been injured and he's coming back on and he's working here and there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So he's come back, which is good. So it's helping out with these.
That's why I see him delivering the mail less than him over.
Yeah, exactly, it's looking more here.
He's contracting his route.
So it'll help, it helps with, to your point of allowing, people to take a day off, or people to not have to work a double, or, someone to go to get some training without causing overtime or no one scheduled in a space, or an open space. So I don't know,
Did we hire,
Oh,
you haven't appointed him yet.
Appoint him, so.
I think the term would be the only question, and I would recommend probably June 30th of 2027 to keep things in line with the fiscal year.
Right, that's
Not give him.
yes.
Hiring appointment.
Yep.
Um,
So I'll make a motion to appoint Brian Pfister as a part-time police officer effective immediately through June 30th, 2027.
second motion. Any other discussion? We'll call a vote.
Yes.
Yes, that carries unanimously.
That was easy. Okay.
The next item is Officer Brown vacation rollover, Roger.
Now this,
She just walked in, I think, she was gonna start, wasn't she?
about something else, but I'll bring that up too. Under the next. This actually came up because I put together the new personnel policy, and she was reading it, and we have that issue about rolling over the 40 hours. And because we had to do I updated her hours because there wasn't a rollover. She missed some hours when she went from part-time to full-time and things weren't accruing correctly. So I updated some of her vacation hours in the fall to make up for those, but what's gonna happen is she's gonna end up with more than 40 hours of time when June 30th, even though she is taking some time off. She has about 120 hours right now that's sitting there. So she's gonna be taking some time off. She's gonna bring that down, it'll probably be below 80 hours, but it'll be more than 40. So she was like, I would like to have a memo put up there saying that I can roll over more than 40 hours. So that's what this is.
What's the actual amount of the rollover, do we know?
Not right now, because she's gonna be taking time off over in May and June. I believe, I don't know about June and May. That time.
I know she'll be gone from the 8th to the 18th.
Yes, that's part of it.
But it says adopted, but it's not adopted yet. Is it?
Well, see, some of it we did, see, it's
We've
confusing.
adopted pieces of it.
We approved certain policies,
Yes.
but I think the only parts we adopted were the actual,
Vacation and.
whichever.
So-
I can change the front page.
Well, no, change the front page, but departments are supposed to have an opportunity to comment.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Oh, we gave it to them, didn't we? We sent it all.
At some point we
We
did, but
sent-
I
I
don't
sent
know
it.
if we sent the whole thing.
okay, so it's good that we're having this conversation. When Lindsay sent back this,
Right.
I think now we're at final review.
Yep.
Shooting for July 1 effective.
Okay.
This whole thing
All right.
has been difficult beyond belief, Roger. It started before you were here.
Yeah.
It actually started about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I, at the time, wanted, when neither Susan nor Frank was on the board, I wanted to hire someone for $5,000 to write us a new employee handbook.
Yeah.
And the other select board members gave me a hard time. And we didn't hire someone 5 years ago to write us a new employee handbook. It's been a thorn ever since.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna do a final review. That's yours, Mickey.
Thank you.
And July 1 is the date. So
Yeah, we need to.
I wanna stay a little bit on track before we
We know.
delve fully into employee manual, which isn't even fully on the agenda. So, is there a memo to this effect?
There is.
Okay.
It should be, because that I thought we'd adopted, because I remember we talked about adopting the paid time off.
Yeah,
At
well,
that point in
that
time,
vacation policy was
the
so
vacation
backwards.
Yeah.
That we felt the need to enact as soon as possible that new hires get 2 weeks vacation.
Right.
Because a couple of people really got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Most of our full-time employees, when they got onboarded, either had negotiating power because they were coming from a different town or had an in.
Mhm.
And they said, I'd love a job in Monterey, but I need vacation time, like this is silly. And a couple of people, very unfortunately, didn't have that insider information, so to speak, and came on with 0 vacation in the first year. And that was terrible. And
I can't believe that was even possible.
And I think Jen was one of those people.
yes, and so for that particular reason, I think that this is more than deserving.
Too, is what I talked to her Saturday about it, and she had vacation, but for a few days, and then she came back to work and she worked 40 hours that week, you know, so it's like she was doing us a favor,
Yeah.
you know, so we're doing the right thing.
So I should take my PDF file that I put together for that, and you want me to send that out?
I thought, what's her name, Lindsay put it together.
Well, no, I put like that together, and so
He printed-
I put a new front cover
But
on.
yes, I think the Lindsay's PDF.
Yeah, it's all, yeah.
Right.
The only thing that I did was like, there were a couple items that were missing on the, or there was one item that was missing on the index.
Okay.
And then at the end, at the very last page, I put a little spreadsheet for any changes. So that if we do make a change in the future, there's a spot where it'll show
Oh,
up.
it'll show up. I would say that whatever we send them, we don't want them to change the original document. We don't wanna end up with 15 documents.
Well, that's
We
why-
don't know which one's which.
That's why I would send the PDF. I'll just. I'll
Right,
turn
so,
it into a
right, so they,
PDF.
and then they have their comments separately and not on the document, or they print it out and whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, so we
Then
signed,
could have Adobe Acrobat. I
we
don't know.
signed the memo.
Okay,
What's
what's up next?
town administrator update.
The only thing I would like to bring up, and it's something that is, again, come up because this is sort of, was sitting out when people were looking at it, is I think we need to, in the near future, think about a police schedule, like a vacation or a holiday special, specifically to the holidays because of how the schedule has changed for the holidays. There's 6 or so Monday holidays right now. And so the way the schedule is, you know, Jen, for example, is starting working on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So she's missing all those Monday holidays where traditionally she had gotten them, and right now, every single employee that works Monday through Friday gets them. So the whole fairness and equity, you know, we in the fire department budget, we actually said there's 8 hours, 12 holidays, we're putting that in your annual pay. And so it's sort of lost in fairness that she's not getting paid those
Aren't
holidays.
paid per holiday at the fire department, they're thrown in the annual sum.
Yes, because they depending upon how they're scheduled,
Yeah.
some years they land on a holiday, some
No,
years they
that
don't.
doesn't make sense.
So that's
That
kind
doesn't
of
make
where it
sense.
was.
That's not how it's done.
Yeah.
That's not how it's done. So, and I don't, it's a complicated
I think that was the original calculation.
it's a complicated subject, but I used to work Tuesday to Saturday, missed all the Monday holidays. Gould Firm's a former employer now, so I can talk about them, right?
Mhm.
So they kind of have a good system. It's all flex time for PTO and holidays. Every holiday is a flex day. So you can always work a holiday if you want to. Which meant Mondays, I never got a day off because I already had a Tuesday to Saturday schedule, but I also didn't need to use my vacation time
Right.
for a holiday. And when holidays land on other days, I could decide whether to work or not.
But we don't do that.
But can I tell you something? You don't, the holiday time, the time and a half, you get time and a half if you work a holiday
If you're scheduled the holiday
and you work it,
and you work it,
then you get 2.5 time.
you get paid the straight time for holiday,
Yeah.
and then time and a half for your work. And the only people that really affects is the police department.
And supposedly fire now,
No, fire doesn't get time and a half on that.
but you built it right in.
Yeah.
It got built in, yeah, because throughout the course of the year, because the question was, how do we cover that, how do we pay for that throughout the course of the year, because of how they're scheduled at 48 on, 96 off, and that it floats, one guy might get a holiday, and then the next guy doesn't get a
That's how it
holiday, it
works.
just kind of floats
That's how it
around.
works, and
So
you add
it was
that
kind
in,
of built, it was sort of built in there.
but that's how
Yeah,
it
but-
works, sometimes you get the holiday and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, and eventually
Yeah,
it
but-
comes around
And
to
when,
everybody.
when you,
I don't, I think if she's got a permanent schedule Tuesday through Saturday and she's not working those Mondays, you know, she's got the holiday off, she should get a day's pay for that holiday.
Right, and that's what we're asking.
Yeah, I think that's the only fair thing to do, because, you know, I don't know, you know, she could be on that for a year, and that's compared to other people, I just don't, you know, okay, if you said, suppose Christmas falls on a Saturday, does the DPW guy get a day's pay because he's not scheduled to work?
He gets paid the holiday, he doesn't,
Yeah, but, okay, but, so you give them the day off, you
yes,
give them the Friday, the eve off, or
Yes.
something like that. But we don't do that for the police
No.
department.
no, we
So
don't.
then that would only be fair that that person that week would get 6 days of pay. One would be a holiday pay and one would be 5 days
Wait.
work.
If you work for the DPW and Christmas falls on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And your normal work week is Monday through Friday, you just get paid for the 40-hour work week.
but you don't work.
But Friday, you don't
But
work
you
Friday.
don't, wait,
You don't-
because you get
You get
paid.
Friday
It
off.
actually, I have to admit, it is a complicated thing, I've
It's-
thought about it a lot, it's not easy. The way Gould Farm did it was so clean, and I don't think we're ever gonna be able to replicate that for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it's police
But
force.
it is
It's a police force.
a messy, it's a difficult thing, but I think you're absolutely right, if we're gonna do it one department, it's gotta be the same way with both.
Which is, or when we say we're doing it for both, that means they would get compensated for that Monday?
Yes,
She would get 6 days paid that week.
on that given day, for that given
Okay.
week, she would to pay for that holiday.
That's right, I
Whereas,
think that's
but
fair, you're
here's the only
acknowledging
thing.
the holiday.
The officer who actually works Christmas Day
Would get time and a half.
Double time
gets,
and a half.
get paid for 6.5 days for that week.
Yeah, because they get time and a half.
Well, they get time and a half.
They get an extra time and a
Time
half.
plus
Hear,
time.
hear me out,
Yeah.
if you're the officer that's scheduled to work on
They get
Thanksgiving Day, you get paid for that whole week, 6.5 days.
That's right.
So,
7.5.
Well,
6.5.
No, 7.5. They get double time and a half, so
no,
they're
they don't,
getting paid
let's,
straight.
they're getting double
Okay.
time and a half.
they don't get,
but only
let's,
scheduled work days.
just, they don't get double time and a half, they get paid for the holiday, and they get paid for their shift.
So that would
A
be.
time and a half.
Okay, but my
I
point
know
is,
it's double time and a
I
half.
know,
but it's not.
I'm just being clear.
Can I say, let me retake the floor and
Okay.
just lay this out here, cause I have somewhat of a grasp. The officer that is scheduled to work on Christmas Day and does, gets 6.5, basically, gets paid for 6.5 work days.
No, gets paid for 5.5 work days and the holiday.
Yeah, so it ends up being 6.5.
I understand.
Roger,
I hear what you're
It's
Do they
saying.
get paid for
you still
6.5
get the
work
same
days?
number.
They get paid for 6.5 work
Okay,
days.
so the
But one is
officer
a holiday.
that doesn't work Christmas and isn't scheduled to work Christmas, I'm just.
Yeah.
Playing devil's advocate, exploring all options, gets paid for 6 days for that week.
Mhm.
I think it kinda stinks a little bit, that setup, because, and I have a relative who is a firefighter out east. And he often works Thanksgiving, and he gets paid a lot to work Thanksgiving, and they say it pays for the Christmas presents. And that's anecdotal, but there's a real reward for giving up that time with your family, because it can be hard to, who wants to work Thanksgiving, Christmas, right?
I did it for years.
So,
I got triple time.
so, all that said, that's my only, I think it's a good plan, other than it's not really rewarding the person that gets the worst shifts of the year, because they're getting a half a day more than the person that just doesn't have to work Christmas Day.
Mhm.
And I don't really think that that's fair. When I was in college, working in the dining hall, and they knew people really wouldn't wanna work shifts, cause it was the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
They would do all kinds of things like a bonus, and then if you didn't come to your shift, this is just for instance, but on the Super Bowl, you got like 2 absences instead of 1. There was all kinds of ways to reward people for working less desirable shifts, and that is my only hiccup here, which is that I think it's fair that everyone gets holidays. I think it's not really fair that the people who actually miss out on time with their family on these big holidays are making only marginally more than the people that don't have to work them, and I think that's a little tricky. Maybe it wouldn't really be an issue,
I
but
just wanna revisit this, if you work a Monday, if your shift was Monday through Friday.
Yep.
And Christmas fell, or whatever, it's obviously it's not Thanksgiving, Christmas fell on Saturday.
Yep.
You get paid the holiday pay for the Saturday. So you're not paid for Saturday because you didn't work Saturday.
If you're Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And a holiday falls on a weekend, you get the day prior to that holiday. So if it falls on a Saturday, you get a Friday day off. If it falls on a
Okay.
Sunday, you get a Monday day off.
So you had your day off you had an extra day off on Friday and you got paid for it, but you still only got 5 days worth.
Mhm.
Whereas for Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
if the PD works Thanksgiving Day,
Mhm.
they're getting paid for, they still have the Monday, Friday schedule for this scenario.
Mhm.
They get paid for the 5 days, but they work that day, so they also get another time and a half. So they are getting rewarded with an extra day and a half pay.
but they're,
Compared to the people who just had the day off. And got paid.
in a sense.
How's that in a sense?
There's 2 ways to reward people for a holiday. One is throwing them a day's worth of money.
Mhm.
And then the other is they don't have to work,
Right.
which are 2 different, very different rewards. And also some departments are just vastly different. So
Yeah.
an administrative job, you don't
It's
come in,
thankless.
no one comes
Right.
in.
Yeah.
And you get paid to take the day off. But in a department where we need to backfill, these are complicated things, and I think the most important thing is just at least try to ensure parity between departments, which can't even be fully
It's
reached,
difficult to
because it's
do.
apples to oranges.
It is,
Yeah.
especially when one's got a 24-hour schedule and the other doesn't. You're trying to work out a compromise for that too.
So that's why I thought it might be something in the near future to come up with like, cause in
How
the,
do we got parity?
yeah, cause in the employee handbook, it does say under full-time employees, and it says for fire department, see separate policy.
Yeah, which we don't have.
Which we don't have right now. And so I think the same thing, we might have to apply, for full-time employees, for fire department and police department, see separate
Public
policies.
safety or whatever.
For public safety.
Yeah.
I don't think holidays should be built into anyone's base salary though, because they are a reward for that particular time.
I don't know if we would base
I
it
think
into
it's
their
a
salary. It would-
Problem with parity.
Yeah, it would be more, how we pay, overtime, it would come, there's that compensation, that same sort of bucket that's down there for overtime,
I
part-time.
thought you said it was baked into the salary,
That's fire department.
or it's baked into the budget.
That's the fire
Or the
department, it's
salary.
in the budget,
Is it in the base salary?
not in the base salary.
Okay.
No, it's not, the salary is a salary, and so there's, the police department has, they call it, it's an old title that goes back, it's just called part-time police officer, but it's where they pay their part-time police officers, is where overtime comes out of. There's, I think, the details come out, I can't remember if that comes out of it, so there's that bucket, and so it would come out of that bucket.
But what are we gonna tell Jen at this point if she's asking the question?
What was the question again?
Well, I mean, she's
It's
going to
what
a
the
Sunday,
schedule.
Monday schedule
Oh,
with a
right,
new
what
hire.
happens?
Yeah.
And you got Memorial Day coming up here in 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
I personally think we pay for it.
My feeling is, I think we have to pay for it.
The schedule changes.
I mean,
I was, it took me a while to wrap my head around it, because I was the same way, I was like, well, you're not working, so why should you get paid? But then it's like, I'm realizing that it's a 24/7 operation, it's different
It's
schedules.
a different, it's like
It's-
a
it's
scene
all-
of production. You know,
Yeah,
you
it's
take off.
just kinda, it was just
No,
different.
I think we,
He's got the
I think
pen.
we owe her some type of answer, and you need to talk to Brian. I don't,
Yeah,
you know, I don't wanna do anything to hurt the morale, but I wanna be fair.
Yeah.
Okay, Professor,
It was really, when we were working last year on the fire department, like trying to figure out about holidays, I actually sat there and tracked with the rotating, 48, 96, what would happen with holidays. Like, I was like, they're probably evenly distributed. Well, they're not. Over time, they probably would be. Over a period of years, they
yeah,
would
they
be.
would probably.
But it wasn't hugely disproportionate, it was like 5-4-4 or 5-4-3, and then, you know, I ran out 2 years, it was really annoying to do. But, it wasn't hugely disproportionate, it wasn't like 6-4-1 or something, you know.
So what happens too is I think I ran it, like, if you looked at this year, this calendar year, and did the schedule over this calendar year, one shift, the Monday through, the Sunday through Thursday shift has like 7 holidays. There's 12 holidays. So it was like, because there was some overlap on those days, it was like the Sunday through Thursday had like 7 holidays. The Tuesday through Saturday had 5 or something like that. It's just a couple of those holidays because the days overlap.
Right,
Like some holiday, like
because the same person was working the same day.
yeah, and there was like a holiday that was in the middle of the week or something like that, and
Juneteenth or something.
something weird like that, or I don't remember, but
The ones that move around are like July 4th.
July 4th, Christmas,
Christmas,
New Year's,
New Year's,
Juneteenth, Veterans Day, is that what it is? November 11th, what's that? That's, what's that one again?
Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
Veterans Day, right? Is that Veterans Day?
Veterans Day.
The Veterans Day, yeah, that one floats.
I feel like it's always celebrated on Monday though.
No.
What's the star?
That's the only person that has to work on a holiday. This person is administrative, they work Monday to Friday, a holiday comes along, they get the day off, they just get paid for a regular 5-day work week. But they basically get paid, that's, for instance, Roger. He works 4 days, he gets paid for 5. No one's working in his office, so he just has that much more to come back to the next day, but no one else is sending
you
emails
get to
either.
work extra hours for 4 days before.
So this person works in a department where they're a police officer, they can't take the day off because there's no regular shift. So they work their 5 days, including the holiday, they get paid for 6.5 days. This Tuesday to Saturday, we have our 2 options. One is they work their this is a Monday holiday. They work their 5 days and they get paid for 6 days, which is what we're proposing. Or they work their 5 days and they get paid for their 5 days. And I think it probably makes more sense to do what Roger's proposing, I'm coming around to it, because it's more in line with that employee that has the day off.
Right.
They're getting paid for 1 more day than they're working.
The only other way to get around it is actually, if, so like the person that's working Tuesday through Saturday, if there's a Monday holiday, they get a Tuesday off. That's
The problem is where,
With this, it would just roll the problem down the hill.
yeah, and also where we have the non-traditional schedules are in departments that are basically need to be staffed.
exactly.
They're not administered. That's the problem, is we're an organization where we have.
Yep.
Need to be staffed and we have administrative.
Yep.
And to try to make apples and oranges even it's like threading a needle.
Yeah, and it's sort of a concept, the scheduling concept that it's, it's like the library. The library needs to be staffed on days, so that's why they bake into their budget time off. Because if someone gets sick, if Molly gets sick, they have to put somebody in there. So it's kind of the same sort of
Except the days that they
Yeah.
close for holidays.
except for the days that goes, so it's kind of the same concept as if it's a department that needs to be staffed, so we need to figure out on those days where they have a holiday off.
Yeah.
They're being compensated for it, I guess, or is a word for it. So anyway, I think that that's something that, again, down the road a little bit here, once we, get sort of things settled out, the election and everything and into the summer or fall, whenever it happens, we just sort of readdress it. And we kind of we put it in paper, but knowing that with this new schedule, this is kind of how we're gonna rectify that. And I'll talk to Brian and we'll work it out in that sense.
Mickey, did you still have a comment?
I'm just gonna say that the library is always closed on holidays.
Yeah.
And basically they should just be paid that day, because sometimes you'll end up with Thanksgiving, Christmas and New Year's all on Thursdays. But I've seen it happen.
Yep.
It's like, shoot, I just lost 3
days.
Yeah, and then and then if November 11th happens to be on a Thursday, let's say,
Yeah,
some person is really out 4 days pay, so they should be compensated.
Yeah.
I would think just straight time for that day.
I think
The
they should.
library is closed, but
I think they should be. Yeah.
I found working New Year's a couple of times very good, because nobody thought that you could. Couldn't do anything anyway.
Okay,
Alright,
So that's that.
so the general consensus is that people are gonna get paid for a holiday, whether they were scheduled or not to work it.
Yeah,
I think
specific to the police department, I think, because that's the only department that happens with. Everybody else is, well, except for the fire department, which rotates.
yeah, I mean, but like,
But the rest of the
DPW isn't, they just don't work that.
it's Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
It's the rest of the departments are Monday through Friday outside of the library
In the transfer station,
and the transfer
and
station.
Don,
Yeah.
Tarico.
But even the transfer station closes on those holidays.
But we've run into this exact same problem with them, because we said, well, we only pay for the holiday if
If you work.
If the holiday's a Saturday or a Sunday, maybe we open Monday, or we've done, I don't know, it's really, there's so many diverse departments that it's really difficult.
Yeah.
And like for part-time employees like Don Tarico or Linda Hamill, for instance, we've said, if you're scheduled to work that
Yep.
day, you put in that many hours and you don't come in.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
With Don, whenever there's a Thursday holiday, Thanksgiving,
But if there's a Friday, Christmas, he doesn't benefit from that, but that's just how it is.
So you're basically saying the rules for full-time employees,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Any other town administrator updates?
Well, the only other town administrator updates is a reminder, and I will be sending out an email this week that Sandusfield Road will start their work next week, so the road will be closed. Right now, they're working on Chestnut Hill. They have been working on Wallace Hall. They've done a couple of turnoffs along the road, so if people see each other and they're scared, they can pull off a little bit.
Right.
And right now, they're working on
So they're
Chestnut
not
Hill.
doing it one way.
No, not doing one way, it's two ways. And on Chestnut Hill, they took away the Jersey barriers Monday, and they're working on the road right now to get it up to snuff, so. So that's what's happening there. And that's it, I mean.
Okay, I have a couple of updates. I'm just taking it. So I mentioned before this possibility of interim municipal, the potential for a site that would be an intermunicipal transfer station for recyclables. And it's like, I've never seen anything in municipal life move as quickly as this is. I feel like my head is like spinning from it. So, there's been, the person who owns the property has been contacted and they said they're open to the idea. We met again with someone from BRPC today, Melissa Provencher, who is they're willing to take on, they haven't really been involved in solid waste before, but they know that there's a need for both solid and hazardous waste. among the communities. They think this is a good opportunity. They're willing to go forward with writing, the SMRF grant. What is it? Municipal Recycling and, oh, dang it,
Smurf.
SMRF, yeah, SMRP.
Recycling facility.
Yeah, but anyway, it's like up to $100,000, so it's like a pretty significant grant. One of the categories is communities working together, and recyclables is on the list. And they're willing to move forward with that, knowing they may not get paid if it doesn't get awarded. But they think everyone seems to think this has the possibility of being really helpful. We're trying to pull together numbers for what the cost savings would be, or what the carbon, it might even be tricky to get that, so what the change in carbon footprint would be if everyone was taking their stuff to this facility and it being put in 100-yard trailers, so there were fewer trips to Springfield, is the idea. The sort of off the cuff thing was that it could save up to 25% of the costs that are quite high right now.
Yeah, so I can't imagine what diesel fuel is.
I know, and that's why we think the
Where's the
cost.
location are they looking
I don't wanna say, although we're going on a tour on Friday, in Lee on 102.
at? Okay, that's
Not
fine.
far
You just-
from-
you don't need
Yeah,
it.
and it's zoned industrial, and it has a scale already, because there was a business there that was using that scale. I mean, if a site was walking into town that was like perfect for this possibility, it would be this one. Whether or not it will go, I mean, there's so many possible roadblocks that could still occur.
Yeah.
It doesn't need special permitting because of what would be done there. According to the DEP, we've already gotten the go-ahead on that part. We need to reach out to Lee, and we'll be needing to talk to actual decision makers in some of the other towns, but we need to have clarity on what it could be before.
Will the neighbors fight a junk site?
We suspect not, given that what's been in that site before.
So it must be an industrial.
It's zoned industrial, and
so
it
you-
was a shipping business,
But
but
it's
tractor
It's
trailers.
down there on the left-hand side as you drive between Lee and Stockbridge.
Yeah, but sometimes it's different between a factory that's making a product versus junk.
Yeah, but
It would
Just
be.
preparing, just
Right.
I know,
saying,
but my
have you
experience-
seen
In a
the
facility.
PCB dump or the batteries
Vacuum
in
energy.
Blandford,
Right.
or any time that you want to put a bunch of something that's a potential hazard
Right.
in a place,
Yeah, aluminum
it's
is
not
terrible.
rare for a community to
Right.
fight it tooth and nail. I'm just saying that might,
There's lots of robots that could come, right? It's also possible that there could be, how do I put this? Political or economic pushback from various parties in the hauling business.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's
There's
a
one
very
party.
big actor and there are some small actors, and the big actor tends to try to keep small actors from going forward, and that's a real possibility,
They make
which
their
is why
business
they
very
use it.
marginal.
Right, so there's a lot of things that could go wrong. That said, it's amazing this much has gone right as quickly as it has. So we're gonna tour the site on Friday. I don't know what's gonna happen. There's no way to say for sure. I think it could be a really positive thing if it were to go forward. Whether it will succeed, I don't know, but I feel like not trying would be, like, why would we do that? We have to at least try. Even just 25% bringing it down, because it's not going to get cheaper. It is unbelievably expensive, and we can't just put it in municipal solid waste by law. Right? We are required to recycle. So, I don't know, you looked like you wanted to say, like, why are we doing this, but no, anyway, so I'm kind of hopeful because the site has real possibilities, it's really well located, and I think all of the communities have to be struggling with the same cost.
Oh, yeah.
Whether or not, and, sometimes people make interesting decisions, like Alford, the person who's handling their solid waste, wrote a grant to get them a compactor. They got the grant. unfortunately, the person in charge passed away very unexpectedly. And for reasons known only to the Alford Select Board, the Select Board chose not to accept the grant or get the compactor. It just, sometimes these things happen, and I guess there must have been a copay that they didn't wanna do. But like, it would have saved them a lot of money, because paper is, the difference between a paper compactor and no paper compactor is substantial. So, decisions get made, but I'm hoping that this could go for it, and we'll see. It may hit a giant roadblock, come to a screeching halt, but maybe not.
No, that's good work, that's a step in the right direction, we'll see where it goes.
That's good. That's all.
I had one thing I wanted to add or do, well, I got two things. One is, we had the meeting on the 18th with the fire department overview.
Mhm.
And I had prepared a statement for it, but as you know, Susan, the meeting went long. And I didn't get to make my statement. What I'd like to do is share the statement, give you copies of it, and just attach it to tonight's minutes.
Okay.
Okay. And then I just want to acknowledge the three of you, the pleasure of working with you. So
Back at you.
It's been, we can have a difference of opinion, but the mutual respect has been very rewarding.
You'll be missed.
And Justin, your chairmanship has been fantastic,
Well, thank you for serving, Frank.
It's
We really appreciate it.
I appreciate all
When I
this.
think about where we were 3 years ago and where we are now, and people come to the town hall, they don't avoid it, so.
I appreciate the support too that you give for the past several years.
So, Mickey, I made you a copy too.
Put it on top of my other pile here.
I'm not gonna read this now, I'll wait till I'm home.
But anyway, that's,
Unanticipated business. Oh, we had a meeting today
I was just gonna ask about that.
the Lake Garfield
Yes,
work group and
I'm glad you could go, that's great.
consultant, Hillary, the lake scientist, and we were strategizing the NOI, so I'm not going to divulge strategy, but basically, we're applying for the 6-foot drawdown for Lake Garfield. We are probably going to be at, the hearing will be at the June Conservation Commission meeting, rather than rushing for the May Conservation Commission meeting, but we might do a very early submittal so that the Concom has plenty of time to review it.
Right.
But also cross all the Ts and dot all the Is so that it can be reviewed and decided on in June.
Right.
So expect that a ruling on the 6-foot drawdown.
Mhm.
Then.
Cool. We need to think about a 7th member because Pauline's term expired.
For the Concom. So we're down to 5.
6, I think.
Is that including David?
Yes.
Let's see.
Who else stepped down besides Pauline? Cause I think his.
I never realized we hit 7, but if we did, I'm happy.
Right now listed are Pauline, she's leaving, Don Hutcher, Catherine Roberts, Vicky Weissman, Nicholas Chella, David Myers, Noel Wade. So there's
was
7.
Catherine Roberts talking about resigning?
She was at some point.
I remember her saying.
So,
I remember her
we
saying
need-
that.
No one's up for a year, but yeah, we're down and we need a 7th conservation commissioner.
Cause 6 is upward.
Yeah, it's not-
They better get 3 or 1.
No, I'm
One
just,
commissioner.
it's an even number.
Yeah, it's just that, you're right, it's even number, you don't like to. Yeah.
Yeah, let's put out the word, could we, once in a while, this does the trick, should we put out a mailer?
You wanna-
A news and announcement?
Yeah. I can do this.
Looking for a conservation commission
Yeah.
commissioner.
Maybe we get several applicants and somebody wants to step down, his term isn't up, get stepped down.
Um,
Yeah.
geez, we're in a great place compared to where we've been.
Oh, I'm not complaining. I just,
But that's
you know,
good to get ahead of it. And I heard they're gonna have an agent by the end of this week.
Hopefully, yeah.
They're excited about him, you know. So, he seems like he's a really bright guy that's just interested in doing it.
Conservation, you know about building, conservation committee.
No. Probably shoot somebody.
Okay.
I feel
No,
that pain.
Thank you for asking.
So, oh geez, I have another unanticipated business. Well, the Lake Garfield, not that I can think of.
Did, like, you don't wanna give away too much, but was your general sense positive? Does it,
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Hillary really took her time with this one. A little wrench in the plans is that they're adjusting the 20-year-old regulations. And there's contradictions between the 20-year-old ones and the ones that are in draft version. So she's trying to strike a balance there and make a really good application for the 6-foot drawdown. But it's hard when you have 20-year-old regulations and new ones that aren't technically approved,
right,
but draft versions are available and they're quite different. That was one key takeaway, and the timing, we discussed the timing a little bit and opted to not try to rush anything this time because we have a bad history of doing that.
better get it done right than fast.
For responsibilities, the commission should do the newspaper posting as we understand it, but the town's responsible for the abutter mailing, so Roger and Mike Jermaine will work on that. And maybe Annabelle. And we need proof of abutter mailing, because in the past that tripped us up.
What do you provide for proof? Do you have to do a registered mail for every mailing?
So you do a registered mail for every person, you get a
Right.
card back.
Everybody.
Right.
So every card, then you have to take that, copy that,
Right.
essentially on a piece of paper
Gotcha.
and use that as your evidence, or your proof, yeah.
So.
Anything else? That's not enough.
Minutes?
Actually, I forgot to put it in, but I forgot to put my copies in, though. I thought Roger did a great job
Yeah.
of capturing some of that stuff.
Good,
You know,
good.
well, I mean, it was, you know, there was, you know, our last meeting went to what, 8:15, 8:30 at
Yeah.
night? That was 3 hours of stuff. And, I think it was I printed it out, read it all, it's
I mean,
like 5 pages. I
For the
think.
14th, I had exactly one.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I did, why don't we start with the April 14th, I have some edits.
Cause that one I actually had time to read, so.
And Frank, some of them are about you, so maybe you can weigh in,
Oh, okay.
because I just want to
Where's the first one?
be fair. So at the bottom of page 1,
Okay.
the select board voted 2-1 in favor of the operating budget, and the finance committee also voted 2-1 in favor. And then I deleted a sentence that talked about overall kind of hesitation about the budget, which I think different members had for no particular exact reason. But I did think, Frank, I thought, disapproved of the lack of a restructured lease with the fire company.
That's right.
And that's why he voted.
Yeah,
And Roger Trine voted no, and Frank Abbott voted no. And I misspelled Frank's name.
To 3 years.
Do you see that?
Yep.
Just one more T.
Yep.
I just wanted to capture that, cause people ask me,
No,
why was it 2-1 on the warrant for the seasonal communities? I said, well, that's my fault, or that's me. And then explain.
How did you phrase it? Can you just read what you wrote? Cause I have the original one.
It says,
That's what I said.
This is
What I
the
read.
original, not.
Yeah, what I read was what it said. Frank disapproved of the lack of a
So
restriction.
you did, okay, what you read, what you said is what you read. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
and he
that's
actually just wrote, Justin used your copy.
fine. Right, which is fine. It's just I have the original.
And then change 2, just for the historical district contract, I didn't think it said in there, the board approved and signed the contract, so I put that in there.
Okay.
Folded, signing a letter. Oh, talking about my ongoing conflict of interest, I said related to my family members' involvement. And due to immediate family connections of his father and mother-in-law. Changes about my, conflict of interest status. I just wanted to be pretty specific about what was going on.
I usually, it's not like I'm like, or disapprove, but, okay, that's pretty minor, actually. Well, I mean, it feels, I get you, it's fine, there's nothing, it's not like the whole paragraph right now.
And then I just added that the two documents were signed.
Okay.
Move that we approve the April 14th minutes as amended.
Second,
We'll call a vote.
Yes.
yes.
Yes, unanimously approved. The 317.
So this one, I said I had a little struggle with, because
I hate to do this, but I haven't actually read these, cause I didn't get them till I got home. And then it was like, I had like half an hour to shower.
What we can do is, we can do it at the next meeting, and that's.
You okay with that, Frank?
I'm okay with that.
And I would've
Well,
done
let's
it with
see,
it, but if
we
you said,
could
yeah.
be, we're technically illegal. So why don't we be legal, if we
317
can, why don't we just workshop them
Okay,
if we
Let me
wanna
just
take
read
the
it.
time, cause I'm in your boat.
I'm okay, yep. Did you go to the CPA meeting? I don't think you did, right?
No.
I don't know if you knew this, but it turns out the CPA projects, after the board decides who's gonna get it, they do go on the warrant and they have to be approved at a town meeting, which I don't think, I did not know,
Yeah,
and I
I
think that's,
didn't
right.
know that per se, it doesn't change my stance.
it may
Cause
not,
my problem wasn't that there's
that
not
we're
a
collecting
body
money
for
in
it.
advance, but
It's
yeah.
that we're collecting the money in advance.
Yeah, but at least the town does get to actually vote on each
Yeah,
project, which I didn't think was the case, I thought
But
the
it's
board
like,
got to decide, but
we
that's.
have your money
Right,
and we have this project we wanna spend it on, do you approve it? Well, you already.
Yeah,
already
but you
have
still
it.
get to approve it,
Yes, you still get to.
and if it doesn't get approved, the money goes back in the pool and can get used for something else.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do think it's different.
No, it's better,
Yeah.
it's better, it's not.
You might still not support it, but I did think it was important enough.
People in town sometimes get, and maybe I would feel differently as a department head than as a select board member. But it's kind of consistently rubbed me the wrong way when people consider money that's been approved at town meeting, it's like, oh, that's my money, that's my department's money.
Right.
And like if the truck, if we buy the highway pickup truck and it comes in a little bit under budget, like, okay, that money goes back to the taxpayer. Cause the taxpayers approved $90,000 for that truck, it came in at 80, that 10,000 goes back in the pockets of the people that approved it, it's not like, oh, well, now it's, and that's just legally,
Go get X.
that's legally how it works.
I can go get some white walls instead. Upgrade a little bit on the tires, or, because I got an extra $10,000.
A little, yeah, but it's like,
Expensive.
and I feel a little bit that way with the Community Preservation Act, where yes, it's still the people's money, but they can vote no on that project, but it's still the Community Preservation Committee's gets the next
Yeah.
move, the taxpayers never get their unused money back. John Silver always
I do
said to put all the free cash that was left over against the tax rate.
Yeah.
And it has its problems, but I totally understand it in its own way, which is that that's money we didn't need,
Yeah.
that we asked you for, and you gave us, you can have it back.
It's a good point.
There's other problems with it and municipal finance, but do you view it as still the taxpayer money?
Talk to Great Barrington, that's where Great Barrington's in trouble right now.
Yeah, there was an article about,
That's why they're,
For what?
because they were using free cash to do just that.
So were we,
But they were using it operationally.
yeah,
I was gonna say, we don't use it operational.
To pay against
we used it operationally.
One time I know we did that.
We did it, we used to do it all the time. And where we really messed up in 2021 was really using a lot. And that is me
What did we use it for?
against the tax rate.
Yeah.
we
Oh, yeah,
used
the
it, and then
tax
we
rate.
had to go.
Sorry,
we
right,
had to
yes,
do-
sorry,
So
I
it wasn't
hate
any left, it didn't get used the next year for.
Yeah, well, that's, their increase went up because, they got a free ticket.
Yeah, and
I
it was
just-
even
in
worse
my
because
own-
of the size of that
In
bucket
my
of
own
free cash
personal-
because of the clerk center.
In my own personal finance, I don't go, oh, I'm gonna budget $1,000 for a new cell phone. Okay, I went into the store, it only cost 800, so that 200 now, I can spend on a laptop or
Right,
something.
right, right.
I go, okay, that 200 goes back in the pot,
Right.
back in the savings a little bit.
Well,
Because you can apply it to the next big thing you need.
Ideally, you have a budget, you use 100% of it, right?
Well, there's always
That's it.
gonna be,
The only
there's
thing,
always gonna
Actually,
be.
I would say ideally you have a budget, and you don't have to spend
You
it
try
all,
to
and if
beat
you
the
have
budget.
money, you can save, like, why would you wanna
Yeah,
spend it all?
I mean,
You
that's the
wouldn't do
thing.
that in the public sector.
In
Well, that's how I view the public sector too.
public sector, you would, ideally you would ask for $100 and you'd use $100.
In some way, because it means you didn't overtax anyone,
Exactly.
in that way.
Because I guess some people could look at free cash as we've overtaxed. Our budget's too.
Well, no, and
But
that's
you
wrong.
have, but you can't, because you have to cover things, and some things you don't know exactly how much they'll cost.
I mean,
Two is the fact that you can't go over budget, you always gotta put like
Yeah,
a fudge factor.
Unless you're the
in.
feds.
Yeah,
they
right.
can make their own money.
Yeah. I should
Moderate
put a
cash.
press, and
Well, I
we'll print money.
Speaking of
Well,
all,
by the way, how was 317 going?
Yeah, we'll get there.
317 going, okay.
speaking of this, why did we estimate the receipts so incredibly low this year?
I got that from,
I think
from Eric.
No, but Eric didn't. You didn't do it.
No, Eric does
The
that.
question is, why is it? so
Why? And we gotta be consistent year over year, but understand under budgeting, and there should be a target of 15, 20, 25%. I think we're at 37%.
That seems crazy.
Yeah. So,
You might shoot him a little note that he may have to,
Mhm.
speak to that.
But-
Yeah.
well, anyway,
It does seem odd.
yeah, it seemed a little hot.
Gives more free cash.
Low.
Yeah, it generates a ton of free cash, but
But it
you're
also
basically
generates a
taxing
higher tax.
people a year in
Yeah,
advance.
Yeah, you're taxing, you're taking their money, their money will be worth less next year versus this year.
Okay, minutes.
Okay.
That's economics 101.
So I make a discussion on town meeting warrant, and this is so vague, I don't even know what it's talking about.
I'll be honest with you, I understand.
Okay, I literally don't remember what this conversation was, and
Where are you at?
it's on page 2, discussion on town meeting warrant. It's
Yeah.
right above community center pavilion, I'm like, what were we even saying? I don't know.
There was a lot of stuff going on and I had notes and
Oh, it was one of those
it
times it was down.
it kept flipping out, going off and on and off and on, and I thought I had started the other microphone and my notes weren't full. I know
Alright,
we're
so
having a discussion on the town
We
meeting.
didn't sign a contract, it's not like we took a
Right.
final action, and the minutes should reflect the discussion, but we lost the
We
case.
lost it,
Yeah.
so,
So,
I would leave it in.
yeah,
but we could not make it look like there's a lot there. We could just say that, we discussed the town meeting warrant
Yeah.
and no final decisions were made.
Cause I know we were talking about, we were talking about the different, warrant, the items through free cash and the different articles that would show up. We did talk about, there was fire department popped up in there, school budgets we were talking about.
Concom, beach monitor.
Yeah, there was a lot of like items down through the warrant.
Yeah.
So,
So.
but I don't think there was any real decisions that were made, it was more just these were items
It's
that
just
we
discussed.
talked about.
They're discussed.
And I had mine.
Yeah, I had some notes and things and it was frustrating.
I feel like the best approach then is to like maybe delete the sentence that starts members discussed alternative approaches all the way down to,
Well, no final decisions.
yeah,
How much audio is missing from that?
About a third of it.
it went
The
on and on
last-
like 3 times at least in
Jeez,
the.
the last like 20 or 30 minutes is just blank.
It happens once a year or twice a year. It's happened since I've been on the board. There's always 1 or 2 meetings a year where
Yeah.
sometimes we miss the whole thing.
Yeah, it's weird, cause from,
It's not.
it goes, it just, I've watched the video and it just, everything goes black, there's no sound, there's nothing, and then it ends when it should have ended. So it just wasn't collecting any sound or video.
Didn't like what you're talking about.
I guess not. So, I mean, it was warrant related.
Can you think of a way to reword that, Susan?
I was just thinking delete that section, because it doesn't add anything. And since I don't have a
Yeah.
clear memory
I mean,
or
so-
record of what was discussed, I'd rather just not say.
So what I
Because
have.
otherwise it seems misleading.
So after taking out what Susan suggested, it says, the board's discussion of the town meeting warrant occurred in the context of broader budget development and project timing, with much of the conversation focused on how to responsibly place articles on the warrant, given ongoing uncertainties. While no final decisions were made on specific warrant articles during this meeting, the discussion made clear that the board intended to proceed cautiously, prioritizing fiscal clarity and flexibility over advancing incomplete or uncertain proposals.
No, I thought we were deleting that.
No, it was the middle
That
part.
sounds
I deleted the
From
middle.
members to while. But we can totally change that, you can put something back.
And that's what's weird, it got lost in there, and then under the, because the community center pavilion, it started recording again, and,
The only thing I have on the community center pavilion is the private fundraising was gonna come from the Friends of the Wilson McLaughlin House, not Friends of the Library.
Ah,
oh,
right.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, please. We're generous, but not that good.
Oh, God, Mickey, that's very generous of you.
Yeah, right?
I just went with Goffin,
Deep pockets here.
MCLAUGHLIN, MC.
MCGHLIN. McLaughlin.
Oh, do we ever figure out if we're gonna loan out those paintings?
We did now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's not that we didn't figure it out, but we
Didn't loan
it didn't loan out. I talked to Donna and it got really complicated.
it. Good. I mean, not good. It was a nice idea, but
Learning them.
It was.
I'm glad other people saw the complications that I did because
Okay.
there was a question. The town owns these paintings from Edith Wilson.
Oh, right.
Could we have a long-term lending library where people could kind of loan it, put it up in their living room, but the town still owns it? And that's like, what if it gets damaged?
Yeah.
Who keeps track of it? What happens when someone very well-meaning and knowledgeable has it, but then they die and their kids find this painting? They don't know it's the town's.
Right.
I mean, you have to put property of town on it.
Yeah,
So we just nixed it entirely?
pretty much, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that she came up with was that we treat it kind of like NPR, where you've got, like, if you donate $100 to the community center, thank you for donating $100 to the community center. If you donate $200 to the community center, we'll loan you this painting. Kind of like for a period of time.
Yeah.
And a contract, we'd have to be a contract, it just got too complicated.
5 years
But
down the road.
you'd have to insure it too.
And, well, that was the thing too, what was the insurance and.
Where are the paintings now?
The majority of them are in second floor of the community center. And we've actually put some new ones out around town hall too. We've decorated some other offices with them that didn't have any paintings.
I was
So
just
the
gonna
town
say,
clerks and the.
should we, is there any place to put one up in the library? Probably not.
Well, they did,
You
we
have
noticed
a
that it's
bench
all
showing-
came
right,
out.
gotcha.
They put them all up,
Up,
and then Chris emailed and said, there's been some talk about these
Right,
long-term
right.
loans. And in some ways, it's like, if they're gonna be sitting in storage,
why not?
why
Right,
not, but
yeah.
also
I had
it's
to
a
kick you
mess.
out.
Yeah. And the will is interesting itself in that it says you can't sell them and you can't display them. It's
You can't
really,
display them.
it's really weird. It says something like that, you're not supposed to
Do we
display
breach
them.
the will?
It's weird, it's a strange will, like you're just supposed to hold on to them.
Right.
And, but we
That's-
can't, if the town decided that they wanted to try and sell them, we could, you just have to go through a process. through
Do
the
we have to
state.
take them by eminent domain,
No, they're ours.
but not sellable, the
Well,
sale?
Yeah, but
we
you're gonna-
we
but
could
there's-
sell them, but we have to go, there's a state department that we'd have to go through and
Yeah,
ask.
there's a process for going against what's.
Oh my gosh.
So we'd have to just do that, and then we could sell them.
What counts as displaying them? Could they be like in a study room library? Anyway.
But it just, for one, it's even a little more complicated, because the town owns the paintings. Specific departments don't own the paintings.
Yeah.
So there was a little confusion as to like, if you gave me $100 to use this painting, where does the money go to?
Well, this is what I was saying before,
Does it go to somebody's revolving fund, or does it go into the general?
yeah, but this is what I was saying, in general,
It's complicated.
people get very territorial over money that's just totally the taxpayers' money. Anyway, okay,
Amen, brother.
I don't see anything else, so
yeah,
I will
just
move
the
to.
friends of the library.
Yeah,
fund.
I changed it online, yeah.
Nobody asked for this one. I move to approve the minutes of the 2026 as amended.
Second, we'll call a vote,
Yes,
yes, that's unanimous approval of those minutes, which, we don't have 4/7.
Yeah.
I sent it,
You did?
I think I sent it yesterday.
Yesterday.
I think I did, unless it's in my draft, which is.
It's probably in draft. That one we can, wait on, cause it's totally legal.
Yep.
We just need to approve it at next meeting.
Yeah, I definitely don't have one.
Oh, that's weird.
I've got draft minutes for the municipal advisory board. But that doesn't really help us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Then I sent it yesterday. Who knows?
Well, I don't think we have it.
No, I guess
We workshopped one.
Yeah.
And this is legal. I wanted to get March 17th, cause that was
Yeah.
Yeah,
in violation of
kind of,
all now.
right.
That's all right.
Okay.
I'm looking at it.
Alright, comments and questions from the public?
Thanks for getting that thing.
Mickey?
Yeah, I just wanted to, first of all, thank Frank for all he's done, but also, just to make a public comment about my road got graded this past week or so. It was the first time in years that anybody has touched the ditches on the sides, of the one side, which has been, there used to be a stone walled swale down at the bottom of the hill, and that was, they just keep pushing the road further and further over the ditches. And the stones from that are all the way up in my driveway. Like a piece of stones from way down there. But this time they dug them out somewhat so that the ditches are gonna work better, and I'm just so happy to see that. I just wanted to make it known that it's something that has not been done in years. They just kept widening the road and eliminating the ditches. So they've addressed some ditches, so it should make the road better.
I'm glad.
Very happy with that.
I heard a strange, something about the edges on Beartown Mountain Road.
Yes, I have to talk to Alan about that, I have a note.
Okay.
There's, somewhere around 170 through 180 on Beartown. Because they raised the road up
They really
significantly,
did, yeah.
there's a spot in there that the, a family, homeowners have mentioned a few times. So I talked to Jim about it and stuff too. They came in just yesterday, I think it was, or maybe even today. There's just a couple spots where it's like a 6-foot drop. You know, it's just, it's an angle and it's just a drop. And, I told him I would bring it up with Alan
Okay.
at this and see if he has any other ideas what to do. You know,
Is it all washed out or is it
No,
from the
it's just-
construction?
it's just from the construction when they raised the bed, you know, at that point, it was
Well,
like,
I've got that on my road too, but.
I guess it was really low there, so when they raised it up, it's got a significant, like, just drop off on the side.
Yeah.
There's signs up there that, you know, have that, like, there's a car that shows like there's a sign of the
You're gonna
road.
fall off
So,
if you don't pay attention, right?
Their concern is that, you know, 2 cars are gonna, like, one's gonna fall off the road, or somebody's gonna fall, or that sort of stuff, and what can we do to fix that? So, but I have a note for Alan the next time he comes in to talk to him about that.
We ride on this old railroad bed that's not a railroad bed anymore, but there's places where there's growth on both sides. And it can look like there's something there, but there's nothing, it's the top of trees coming up, and it can be really scary. You're like one spook away from disaster. All right,
well, thank you, Frank, it's been
this is
a
so
pleasure
weird.
to serve with you.
Yes, thank
See,
you.
we're next Tuesday night.
Thank you for volunteering,
I'll be voting.
thank you for volunteering, you didn't come into an easy situation, but I think you left it better than you found it, and
You guys
Appreciate
have just been great to work with.
Back at you,
And,
really.
I think we've been a good role model for other committees,
Yes,
you know, and I think that's important.
And I think a lot of committees are working smoothly.
I think they're doing a lot better, you know. And I
the
think the
housing
reason-
committee's rocking it, and the Lombardo committee's
But
working on it.
that's why I think you're getting more volunteers, because,
Is that mine?
oh, yeah.
do you wanna make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
We'll call a vote,
Yes.
yes, unanimous,
Yes.
vote.
Congratulations on your last
7:48.
meeting.
congratulations.
We need to put that on a future meeting, maybe after, like, give the new person.
This one?
Yeah.
I think the next meeting, right?
I guess,
pleasure. I'll see
like,
you around
the new
town.
person might not have.
Yeah, it's